As the NBA regular season comes to a close, the race for the MVP award has heated up. One name that continues to pop up in discussions and debates is Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic. While his impressive offensive skills and passing abilities have garnered him a lot of praise, there is a growing concern about his team's defense and how it might impact their postseason success. In this video, we'll take a closer look at why Nikola Jokic might be a problem for the Denver Nuggets as they head into the playoffs and explore potential solutions to address their defensive weaknesses. Let's dive into the world of basketball strategy and analysis as we dissect the Denver Nuggets and their MVP candidate, Nikola Jokic. Joel Embiid, not Nikola Jokic, will end up being the game's most valuable player. With Kendrick Perkins' criticism of the media, Jokic was considered a prohibitive favorite to win his third consecutive game. He said that in the last more than 20 years. Three players, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Jokic, have won MVP while not being among the top 10 scorers in the league. What aspects of their personalities are similar? They are all white. The next thing he mentioned was that the majority of voters are white, but he refrained from labeling them racist. When Perk made that comment, Jokic had a betting line of -278, but Embiid's odds have now improved to the point where you would have to wager $227 simply to win $100. Because Jokic is now the underdog, we must ask ourselves, did the voters get caught? And do they now want to avoid seeming racist? Voting for the most valuable player is not done in secret. Everyone can see who supported Jokic. They will be made aware on Twitter that their decision to not choose Embiid is racist. Because Perk exposed the voters, they do not feel threatened in the least. Since then, the Nuggets have had a terrible stretch. During this losing streak, they have a record of only 2-4 and are in danger of falling out of the top spot altogether. They are at the very bottom of the defensive rankings, and the Joker is the primary offender. The Nuggets have a significant issue with Nikola Jokic, although his defense has been readily overlooked due to his incredible offense. Throughout this dreadful run, they have suffered defeats at the hands of clubs like the Spurs, Raptors, Bulls, and Nets. And in the midst of it, all is the player who has won the MVP award the previous 2 seasons in a row. The fact that he is a poor defender has been brought to light by the constant attacks that other teams have launched against him. Chris Boucher captures Jokic dozing off at the rim when he's playing against Scottie Barnes. Jokic hardly attempts to complete against Barnes. In their loss against Jokic, the terrible Spurs shot 19 of 32 from the field. People are going to say things like, well, this is just bashing on Jokic, and they're going to be right. It's not that I hate you, I'm simply stating the facts. But when you consider how well Giannis and Joel Embiid defend, the situation seems much direr. This year, Denver is ranked number 16. The Nuggets may never win a championship as long as Jokic is their greatest player. The fact that this is the case speaks much about his back-to-back seasons as MVP. Consider those MVP seasons for a moment. During the season of 2021, in which they were swept by the Suns, Jokic had a plus-minus that was either -10 or worse in each game. His stats were terrible the year before, including 2 of the games that were among his top 5 worst of the season. It was quite frustrating to see the Warriors pick on Jokic in such a persistent manner. One may respond with anything along the lines of, but he had to carry his teammates. It's the same deal with other MVPs, like Giannis, if you ask me. The Nuggets are under the greatest pressure of any team in the Western Conference to win. If they have to leave the tournament earlier than expected again, Jokic's value as a regular season player would plummet. We were all aware that criticism was going to be leveled, and while it has already been leveled, it is not entirely his responsibility. Jamal Murray, whose anterior cruciate ligament had been torn the previous year, was not available to him in 2021. Will Barton, Jeff Green, Aaron Gordon, and Monte Morris were the players he selected to start the game against the Warriors. Which of the players is going to come out on top? This year, though, everyone is healthy, including Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., so there is no reason for them to win less than expected. Jokic is going to get the reputation of being a loser and a one-way star. That is the most undesirable reputation that a great player could have. Nicholas Wright was laughed at after commenting that Jokic is overrated. If Nikola Jokic ends up becoming the league's most valuable player, I fully expect Nuggets supporters to be upset with me. Since Dave Cowan, no athlete has been less deserving of the MVP award than he is. The way things are going, it's going to appear like he's a genius. Jokic is the most gifted attacking player currently active in the world. When it comes to pass for a man his stature, he does it with ace. On the other hand, we behave as though defense isn't all that important. It is. Since the front office has so much work to do, they will likely move away from one of Jokic's elite colleagues. I'll tell you who they are in just a moment. Contagious, Caldwell Pope, Aaron Gordon, and Bruce Brown are currently 3 of the best defenders who are around him at this time. Just 2 of them, KCP and Gordon, are on court at any one time in their most common lineup. In this hypothetical situation, the opposing side is relentlessly targeting either Jokic or Michael Porter. Peyton Pritchard can substitute PJ for the jumper on this play with the aid of little more than a basic screen. Both of them felt insulted by CP3's actions late in the game on Christmas Day. He is successful in having the screen moved to MPJ, but he observes a more favorable matchup and decides to ask for Nikola Jokic. CP has a fantastic opportunity, but he misses the shot. Nonetheless, this demonstrates how easily Denver can be attacked. In the playoffs, I could see them, at a crucial time, taking Bruce Brown out of the game in place of MPJ. That will happen late in important games, and the resulting tension will be significant. I guess that Michael Porter Jr. will be moved to another team. At this point, having him on the team is a waste of space. Simply put, we do not need his presence. What they need most is an additional strong wing defender. The fact that Steph Curry is surrounded by such talented teammates as Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney is one of the Warriors' most attractive qualities. The other squad will have a difficult time breaking through that defense. When Denver considers trading MPJ, Alex Caruso should be their first and foremost priority target. He is superior to every one of their defenders at the moment, and the Bulls may be considering a roster overall anyhow. Draymond Green himself is another target for Denver's offense. It would be the winning basket, a bonus point for you. This guy has the potential to become a free agent, and if he's going to walk away for nothing anyhow, the Nuggets may try to sign and trade for him. But the analogy with Steph does not work well here. When it comes to defense, having a weak presence in the middle is very difficult to overcome. You are aware that the better teams are going to focus their pick-and-roll defense on him. If you recall from the previous year, once the playoffs began, the Warriors tormented Jokic in a way that we had not seen throughout the regular season. But what is completely inexplicable is the reason why the playoffs be treated any differently. If you look at the team that got the number 1 seed and say, Denver is winning right now, why would they lose in the postseason? I mean, you could make that argument. Ben Simmons is the most appropriate analogy. Many have forgotten that this guy used to be famous. The regular season went well for him as he was named Rookie of the Year and an All-Star for 3 years in a row. But in the postseason, he struggled. The opposition took advantage of his poor shooting, which ultimately contributed to the Sixers' elimination from playoff contention. This dude was putting up Magic Johnson statistics throughout the regular season. But once the playoffs started, he became Mickey Johnson, some random player from the 1980s. Search for his name. It is not common practice for head coaches to reveal their whole game plan during the regular season to save surprises for the playoffs. The fact that you face the same opponent night after night makes scouting an even more pressing concern. If a top player has a vulnerability, that vulnerability will be exploited. If the Nuggets are unable to resolve this issue, it will severely limit their potential moving forward. They will continue to struggle with Nikola Jokic, despite their best efforts. But who would have the ability to replace them as the top seed in the West? It will inevitably be the Kings. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the topic. Do you think Jokic has what it takes to become one of the all-time greats? Or do you think his success is limited by his size and style of play? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel for more great content like this. We are always looking for new and interesting topics to explore. So if you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.